Hello. I think this is good. All right, there we go. Um, let's make more of our game. I think that's today's schedule, and I'm gonna do my normal thing where I check and make sure things are working well. Just takes a minute. Make sure everything's working. Okay, good. And let's just start by playtesting a bit. It's funny. I do have this muted, the game audio, but there is no game audio. So, reminds me, at some point we're going to have to do something with sound. I mean, it's a crime not to do things with sound, but so we've been working on this for, well, all this year. And the hardest thing to do when you're making a game is staying objective, meaning you role play as the player. So, instead of role playing as you, like if I'm playtesting right now, I try not to fall into habits and just routinely do things like recognizing this button is here, which would be strange for a player. I mean, I have to keep in mind that this is for me to debug my systems, and at some point I'm going to need to graduate that to be um, automatic. I think there's no reason that we want the player to be sitting here and waiting like I'm doing right now. That's silly. But I'm doing it so that I can make sure that the systems are working. In fact, I'm going to keep that in place while I refactor the script that's running the battle right now. Okay. So we've gone through a round. We're going to do another round. And again, that button probably not going to be there. I mean, I think uh, there's going to be an effort to like reclaim what it is that the player needs to see versus what I've been having to do while I develop it. But this is the core gameplay that we're doing. 3 rounds, maybe best 2 out of 3, right? And you select your cards, place them, put the formation so they march into battle. And then the stats take over and they battle each other. Um, and at the end of the match, we've added a profile that you can collect experience and levels and things. It's also a profile that you can personalize. And so that's part of what helps that quick little core gameplay to be more enticing to the player. They want to play again, right? It's a little too simple. I mean, that took 2 minutes or 3 minutes. We lost, but more than that, it's really short gameplay. And if you feel like you've seen it all, why play anymore? You're done, right? So we added a campaign. These are matches, just like what you did before, but now it's sort of wrapped in this idea of a story. There's some people that need help, the tree folk in this case, and the enemy has done something to them. Are you going to help them or ignore them? Well, of course, you want to help. You can ignore it, but now that name is here. And this is just the same core gameplay, but now we've dressed it up with the story. So how much did this add to the core gameplay? Well, a little. Not much. I mean, we're not fooling ourselves into thinking it is now, novel and new, but it is slightly different. And in the context of story, if you win, you complete the story. For the purposes of a campaign, this means that you pass that one stage of the campaign and you move on towards the end. So it is a challenge now, not just one core gameplay match, but multiple. And if you can get to the end, you've won the campaign, not just the battle, not just the match, but a campaign. Well, that sounds nice. Is that any more than just like the little experience or the little story? I mean, how much more does this add to our core gameplay? Well, this is where we've been spending our time lately. To really add to the core gameplay, what we're saying is, well, the core gameplay needs something else. It's nice that you can set the formation, you can select the cards that go in, and the formation matters based on what the opponent is doing for their formation. You can set it up so you have a better chance of winning based on where it is and what order it's in. This emergent gameplay actually takes a while to understand how it works, and so it's good that the player is encouraged to continue to play for a while. But we definitely need more, because this core gameplay, even with the story, even with the level and experience, is a little too simplistic. It's too easy to say as the player, I've seen all there is to see, I'm done. Instead, we don't just offer the campaign and the experience and the level, which gives you an identity and gives an identity to your opponent and who you're helping and all that good stuff. By winning this match in a campaign, that named opponent is defeated, and when we come back, we see a completion to that story, and that's nice. That's nice, and we can move towards this big boss or whatever. Well, the thing we've been doing is if you do defeat the boss, and I'm not guaranteeing I can right here, but you do defeat the boss, you're going to be in a position to collect. There is something now that you can collect, and while this is not a deck building game, these 50 cards that we use in battle are always the same 50 cards, although the stats do randomize. It's not a deck building game. You don't collect cards. Instead, we have mostly just to deconflict what you do collect versus what you play with. The core game plays with cards. What you collect is pearls. And if you complete a campaign, you defeat the big boss, you can collect a pearl. The pearl is something you can take into battle and drop into battle while it's going on. And it completely changes the nature of the battle. Gives you an advantage, nerfs the opponent, damages them, changes the dynamics of the battle. That's what it's meant to do, and it's meant to be overpowered. So, and part of what we've been doing to develop the pearls, the collection of pearls that we want to do, want them to be an extensive collection. Some are rare, some are common. And they're meant to be, in general, overpowered based on this core gameplay, but you drop a pearl and it changes the nature of the battle. If both players have a pearl to drop, that might begin to balance it out. But if it's totally overpowered, we needed another mechanism to balance it better. In this case, if you drop a pearl and totally win the game because of this pearl drop, we don't want you to just do it again and again. It's got a cooldown, a pretty significant cooldown, and it lasts multiple matches, and it lasts a lot of time as well. So you can drop a pearl. If you collect this rare pearl and it does great things, great. But you're going to spend it, and it's going to be not available to you for a time. So we did not defeat the big boss on this campaign, but we'll go back. And they're available to come back, and I can go back and defeat them some other time. So far, this account has collected some pearls, and in fact, this is why we're testing it. But like this one's on a cooldown, I still have to play another match before I can drop it again. This one is available, and I could use that. Some are rare, some are common, and we did some things to make that happen. It's going to be 64 different pearls. So far, we've only sort of written out the rules for 32 of them, and we've been slowly implementing them. So far, we've got like 10. These are some of them. And so, let's talk about the one we're working on right now. The pearl that we're working on now, because the rest of this gameplay is kind of in place, we're working on one called Fire and Ice. This is meant to do two things. One, freeze the opponents for one battle cycle. This gives you free attacks. They're not able to move into battle and turn over, and they're also not able to attack. Okay, so ice is the frozen part. The fire is attacking them. And that's a new feature we haven't implemented yet. So fire and ice, like a lot of the other pearls that we have defined early on, are going through some features that we know we're going to want to do again and again. And by getting through these early ones, I'm hoping, that the later pearls that we have defined are going to go faster because they basically reuse some of these features. Okay, so the feature we need to get done now is this attack. This pearl creates a wave of both fire and ice on the battlefield. All opponent cards are immediately hit with a power 5 attack. Then, all opponent cards are held from moving or attacking for one battle cycle. So we've gotten the ice part. The opponent cards are frozen. The fire part is what we're working on now. And last time we got it to look pretty good. I actually want to make sure that it does look good. And getting it look good is one thing, but like literally making the attack happen was the part we left for today. So while this pearl, there you go. I can cheat and get the cooldown to be done. There we go. I can take this pearl and I can bring it into play. So there's core gameplay looks the same. In fact, I just did a quick match to test. Oh, these are terrible cards, companies. Another reason why we wanted the pearls is because sometimes you get terrible cards. And that can happen. But if you have a pearl to drop, that should help players and help them not feel so helpless, basically. So I can grab the pearl and I can drop it. I'm going to wait until they are turned over so I can actually hit. Ooh, okay, I have a card advantage. I may actually want to wait. Just want to look at the look of it. So this showed a blue puff ring, and it showed this flare in the middle, and then it showed these lines attacking, that were meant to indicate the attack on the opponents. No attack actually happened, but I think that looked okay. Actually, I was keying in on the flare color. Just want to make sure the flare color was matching the color of the pearl. The puff around the side, when the pearl drops, there's this explosion puff that this ring that goes around here, and that is blue. That makes sense. That's for the ice. So in this case, this pearl has two different colors, and I just want to make sure it worked out. So okay, I'm satisfied with the color, satisfied with the look for now of the attack. All of these effects and the artwork and everything has to do with visuals and, like I said, sound are all temporary. What we've done so far is get the mechanics of our game to work. Literally the rules of the game and systems, getting them to work, even though it's really ugly, even though there's no sound. That's what's important right now. If I can get that done, then we'll turn to making it look pretty, sound good, etc. So if our agenda today is to get the fire and ice fire effect to actually attack, because that's new. Getting the pearl to attack cards, that's new. So far, our core gameplay just has cards attacking cards, and so it is a new feature. If that is our agenda for today, one of the things I brought up last time is a tricky situation that I needed to consider. It was this. Hey, let's pretend I dropped the pearl and the battle is going on, and all of my cards have been, really hurt. Maybe a couple are wiped out. There's like one left. And the opposing side is winning. And I drop my pearl because I'm like, oh no, fire and ice. Let's freeze them and do this. But I drop it at such a time where, like, the attacks have kind of already happened. Like the pearl is falling. I have to think about this moment to moment interaction. I drop the pearl, and it just so happens the opponent cards take me out. And the fire and ice drops and attacks the opponent cards. Since this is a new feature, this is now a new condition that I haven't had to deal with until now. But if I defeat all the opponent cards and I'm dead, then there's no one left on the battlefield. How do I know who won, right? I was thinking about this case because I need to think about these edge cases and what happens and how do I handle these rules of the game to make sure that it seems fair to the player. They can plan for it. They can work within these rules and try to win on their terms. But I came to the conclusion that, you know what, managing when you drop your pearl is a player control. You have total control over when you do that. And if you miss your timing, if you pick the wrong pearl or whatever, that's on you. I'm coming to the conclusion that that is fair. If you and if your forces are all wiped out, even though the pearl wiped out the enemy, you still lose. Because what's going to happen is the core gameplay is going to detect that your forces are defeated, and that's going to happen essentially first. Now, if it doesn't happen first, if the opponent cards are actually all defeated first, we need to detect that. So the edge case made me think about what am I going to do, and what I've decided is I'm going to let the timing happen the way it happens, and that's fair. At the same time, um, it's highlighting the idea that I need to determine if there's a win condition, winning the round, the battle, the match, just to see if that happened because of what this pearl is going to do. This is a new pearl that can now attack, and that could end a round. I haven't had to deal with this yet, but now it seems like it's time. So not only do I need to actually perform an attack, something that typically only cards do, but I also need to determine if it resulted in a win condition. So if I look at the code that runs the battle, the very end of that routine that looks at all of the battle stuff, I'm actually looking at, I'm going to go up to it. There we go. I'm actually looking at the win condition stuff. Did you win the round? Have you won the match? And this routine, it would be nice if I could just hook into this and not have to duplicate that code in a completely different script. This script handles the effects of pearls. This prototype script needs a big refactor, but this handles the battle. So can I just ask the battle script, please handle this? There's a little bit of, essentially no. This is meant to handle cards, and it does take a card that is attacking and a card that is defending and works with that. And even like the special conditions of luck that determine the luck win, this is all based on cards. So effectively, no. I need to perform an attack, basically duplicating some of this code. It's not a lot. It's really just compare the power of the attack versus the defender's defense rating. Subtract some health. They may die. So yeah, I need to perform some, and there's no luck wins on a pearl, actually. So it doesn't turn it around. That's actually, I didn't think about that till just now. Luck win can happen if one card attacks another, and it's going to defeat it, but the defender has a lot of luck. They have a chance of turning it around and actually winning that instead. Yeah, pearls will not do that. Okay, cool. So this means eventually when I refactor this script, this battle script, I may generalize the attacks so that not only cards but pearls could do an attack. I never thought, that was just not part of the equation when I was making this script. But now, based on where the battle starts and all the calculations, including which card are you attacking, comparing the power versus defense differential, reduce hit points, and then you can determine if they die. It's not a very long set of steps, but I will need to duplicate that in our Pearl Manager, which is not exactly what I was hoping to do, but if that's the worst thing that happens, it's not so bad. So at this point, it looks like I'm attacking. That's kind of cool. I will have to make a separate function to just handle individual attacks against particular cards. This is an attack coming from a pearl drop to a card. So I need to find a good place to make a function and make a function. Okay, this is move update. This is okay. These are indexes. Okay, so this is actually a pretty good spot right here. Yeah. I'm just mentally thinking about where to organize my code. In this case, well, I suppose I do want to know if this particular attack resulted in a defeat of that card, right? Here's an attack from a pearl to a card. I kind of want to know, did it destroy the card? If so, I'm gonna go check to see if we're at the win condition for the round. So I need a return value here. True or false, did I defeat this card? And this is attacking a card. I need to know which card. That's true. And it has been a couple of days since I've worked on this script, so allow me to take a minute. Yeah, which card effect am I doing? Let's see, pearl. Excuse me. Oh, I'm fumbling with the keyboard. I was just playing, and the keyboard is not set up for typing. Okay, pearls. Card effect. I have a lot of cards that are being affected by each pearl drop. Okay. And I need to know the power rating of this attack. And I don't think I need to know anything else. Which card and how much power. I think that's good. And then the information I get back is have I defeated that card? Okay. So I am going to return a value. It is a Boolean. And by default, that will be false. You did not defeat the card. So we'll determine defeat. We also need to compare power versus defense, just like our main script that handles battle. The way this works, there's 5 stats: power, defense, speed, health, luck. Speed determines which card goes first in the battle order. We don't need to do that. Our pearl is dropping when it drops. We don't need to do it. But we are going to check the defense of this card. Actually, we're going to look at just one card, aren't we? Just one card. That's true. Okay. Index, yes. And we're going to check out the cards in play. And look at its power. No. This is a referencer, is it not? Oh, I want card data. I'm sorry. I'm looking at data. Right. Hello. Card data. Yes. And I want card index. Yes. And now give me power. Wait, what's wrong with this? I'm confusion. Is this not an array of It is. It's just a deck. Okay, so I need the cards first. Yeah, this has been a couple of days since I've been playing with this. Card index, right? There we go. Okay, now I have the data. Power, please. Yeah. So it's the power is from the pearl. The defense is on the card. And what we want is the power versus defense. Well, let's just say power differential. Where the power rating that we've given minus this defense. And I suppose what we need to say is there is a minimum, I guess. The largest of two or more values. Well, actually, yeah. The max. Ironically, this function says, take two numbers and give us the largest number, which makes sense if you call it max. But what we're saying is, don't let this value be less than 1. All attacks have, they do at least 1 damage. Otherwise, battle switches go on forever. So if the power rating is like 5 and the card I'm attacking has like a defense of 7, well, that's -1, right? But this will make it a maximum. So there's ironically, this means it will at minimum be 1, right? And we can confirm that with a little bit of feedback. Okay. Pearl power attack. Diff equals, let's just remember what that means. Okay. So now we have an amount that we want to reduce the hit points. The card's been hit by the pearl attack. We figured out how big that differential is, and that's how much hit points is going to be reduced. And this actually needs to go all the way back to the battle data. The battle data is a link directly to the prototype script. And there includes there's a hit point. Excuse me, there is a hit points array, and I need to know which player we're talking about, actually. Speaking of refactoring our prototype script, I continually have to deal with the fact that there are 2 different arrays for cards, for decks, for attacking sides, and all this stuff. And I'm going to unify that with a better structure when I refactor. That said, for now, if I look at the card index, it's going to tell me, no, actually I need to know, I'm going to have to match this by name. Ugh, yuck. It's true though. How am I going to do this? There is a number that I know I need to reduce hit points, but where I reduce it is actually in question. I know it's going to be on battle data. In fact, let's just pretend I know what's up. This is going to be hit points, and then there's some index number. And it's definitely not this. It's not that. Because if it's player 2, then that index number is not correct for this particular array. In fact, that's not the right array. So this would just be reduce that amount of hit points and determine if defeated can happen right then and there. There is no luck win. There's no calculating speed. So that's it, actually. So let's pretend this is it, which it's not. To deal with that. If this is less than or equal to 0, right? If that is the case, we need to, first of all, this Boolean is going to be true. But also, we need to, let's see, how much of this is going to be handled by the prototype script already? I mean, as long as this goes through a battle cycle, it might, no, let's see, this death blow stuff. Yeah, technically, this is how I clamp that between 1 and 10 for damage done. Yeah, and this is exactly the problem. I need to determine if this is a player 1 card or player 2 card, and then find the right index for it. Ugh, this is so ugly. I have to do it over and over again in the prototype script, so I'm going to refactor that. So, did we kill them? Yes or no? And here I have to do the luck win stuff, but I don't need to do that in the Perl, so that's fine. Handle card defeat. This is what I do when, first of all, there's this. Can I just make that public? I think I can. This is play the pretty effects that make the card look like it's dead. If I just make this public, I have to tweak with this script at all. But doing that is okay. Yeah, as long as I have the card referencer, this will just play it like everything. And it does the camera shake and stuff as well. That's nice. Okay. So when I'm calculating defeat, okay. I play the effects. And I do something. Okay. This, because this is done in the prototype script, on the event of a card defeat, it sounds like I'm going to need to do it as well. Managing the deck called the play deck for this player, meaning the cards that are on the table, and transferring that card to the discard pile and stuff. Ugh. I don't want to be this much into the prototype script, but I think I have to. So at minimum, I need to play the effects and, well, one option for me is to generalize this right now, begin to modify this script right now, and then make it public so that the Perl effect manager can do it as well. Ugh, yuck. This is gross. You know, if not, then I'd have to go in and uh basically make these function calls happen on the data that's on this script from this script, which is ugly, ugly, ugly stuff. Let's handle, let's see, VFX, let's handle discard pile. And let's handle the play deck. Yeah. Because that should happen if the card is defeated. Wow, that's really gross. But if I did all that, then this would be done. And now I'm here, which is to say the card's been either defeated or not. I should do a check to see if there are still cards alive or not on both sides. If the answer is no, one side has no cards left, well, that's the end of the round. Yeah, and there's even some stuff. So this is why I don't want to touch this at all. The refactor of this prototype script will happen, but I don't want to do it until I know all the things that I want to do. And this Perl stuff is the last piece of that. Okay, so did we finish this round based on whether cards are alive or not? That's what all this is. And then we determine if the match is done. Oof. Wow, this is some hardcore configuring on this script. And I would so much rather this script handle it itself. Oof. I almost want to just generalize this stuff right now and call it from the Perl manager. Wow, that's a lot of. I'd see that's a whole thing. That's a refactor right now, and I don't want to do that. I just don't. All right, so I'm just gonna have to do this from here, I guess. So this means this is the card is defeated. I will do all the other match stuff after this because this is only dealing with the card. So that's fine. That simplifies this. However, I will have to do a separate routine to check the end of the match, the end of the battle. Okay. Okay, so this is not correct because I don't know exactly what that card is. If I figure that out, I can do this. I then can work my way through these things. I know how to do, in fact, this is straightforward, right? I know how to do the effects. This is literally calling this function, but I need a card referencer. I think it's this. I think that's it. So the card will at least look like it's defeated. The camera will shake. There will be, big effects. And this will work. This is fine. This won't. What I'm doing here is actually manipulating the battle data, or at least reading it or manipulating it, whatever. And yeah, no. Hmm. Let's look at what that actually is. If I test play and look at data, in fact, I don't need to do that on an account. I can just look at it. So just cards, doesn't matter what I do. Okay. Here is that test script. These are the cards in play. This is the battle data. And here is the array of cards in battle and their hit points. Right now there's 2 cards attacking. One has 10 hit points, one has 7. Those have been reduced because they both attacked. So I need to reach in, grab this data, and manipulate it. And I kind of already know some of this. This has a mirror to that battle data, including those hit points. So here's the 9 and 6 hit points that we were just looking at. It was 10, now it's 9. This was 7, now it's 6. So, yes, this is what needs to be reduced. And if I reduce this here from 9 to 5, this now says 5. Nice that it's a link. There we go. So, the only thing is I need to know which card I'm talking about. In this case, it's these 2 that have met in battle, but they are arbitrary. It's like this one, and it just happens to be these top ones in this array. But I need to know. I need to know which one I'm manipulating here based, it's got to be on name, based on name, it has to be. Because I know this list, I know exactly what this is. The Pearl Effect Manager is keeping track of a card index that is literally this index. It's the same as this index, exactly the same. That's great. But what I need to do, however, and it's unfortunate that I need to, is because any of those cards could be engaged in battle or not. There's, the only way to identify is with the name, and this is another thing I'm going to have to think about and refactor just to form the data better. But no big deal. I know which index it is here. This has a name. That name can be matched with this, and that tells me exactly which one of yeah, I have a routine that converts that index to this one, and then I can just use that. Okay, so I do have that actually. I do have that. It's actually this. I can get the card index from a battle index, and I can get the battle index from the card index. It's actually this. Okay, and it may come back -1. It is very inconsistent. This -1 means, yeah, you know the card index, but you know what? It's not in battle yet. Excuse me. It is, if it's not in battle, it comes back as a -1. So actually, yeah, this will work. This means I can say, give me the card index for the battle index. In fact, let's just make it explicit battle index. Based on the card index. Yes. So if this comes back -1, this is not correct. I should detect that and make that explicit that this shouldn't have happened. Because I shouldn't call attack card if there isn't a card to attack. If it's not in battle. That means I can't attack a card that isn't flipped over. And I think that's appropriate. Yeah, there's multiple considerations. This is why I've been going slow and doing one feature of Perl effects at a time. Now I'm on this one, and I've done the rest of this Perl Fire and Ice. But this is new, and it has a lot of considerations, and I'm trying to go slow. Be careful. So this says we determined this is not even a card that's in battle, so skip. Of course, it's not defeated. And so we just ignore it. The rest of this is going to happen if it's not -1. Cool. And we actually have a battle index, which is good. I still have to do this garbage with determining if it's player 1 or player 2. No big deal, though. If this is less than, I'm actually going to look straight at the battle data. P1 hit points length. Okay, and if that's true, then this is correct. Otherwise, it's player 2. Yeah, this is the silly stuff that I've had to do. And by the way, that's not card index, it's index. Both of these are. So we reduce the hit points of either one or the other. That's okay. Yeah, and this whole thing needs to happen for player 1 and then for player 2. There's no way around it. I need to do it this way, which is garbage. I am going to generalize this and refactor this whole thing. But for now, it's got to just work. And then I will word factor. Yep. Okay. So this is working for player 1 or player 2. It is able to be called, and it will do roughly the same attack logic as the prototype script. So, we're close. Okay. I forgot something, evidently. Oh, yeah. I am going to test that out in a moment. But first things first. Take a short break. I'll take a short break and I'll be right back. Sure. Yeah. And just like that. We're better. We have coffee. It's all good. Um to do a proper test. Yeah, I have talked about science before. Science. Design is the combination of art and science, the product of the two. There's puzzle solving, there's creativity, but there's also rigor, there's science. One of the hardest things about science is devising the test. In this case, we're going to test to see that this attack works. And so I want to perform a test that looks like this card got attacked by the pearl, and we're going to see how that worked, right? So I'm going to drop a pearl, fire and ice pearl, and see the visual effects, but also now look at the data to watch it actually do damage, right? Another part of devising a test is being able to read what happened. Imagine you did a test and you can't see what happened. Well, that's a useless test. You need to evaluate, meaning in the design of the test, you're also going to include feedback. That's what I'm doing here. So when I call this function, I will absolutely be able to read what the power differential was set as. I'm just basically going to confirm that it does a minimum of 1 at all times. I bet I want more. I bet I want more feedback in this function before I call it a good test. I need to read the feedback of what's happening. Definitely going to get feedback if something goes wrong here. Good to know. Let's go ahead and add explicit feedback that helps us to understand, in this case, where it got in the function call. It determined, oh, I guess this is not the right place. There we go. In this case, it got to here and decided, oh, this is a player 1 card that got attacked, or a player 2 card that got attacked. That's good. There's more that this function does, and I want to consider all the feedback I want. In this case, I want to know where it reduces the health, what it started with, and what it ends with. Easy enough. Hello. So if I can type. And I guess I need to do this. Okay, again, as long as I can type. Goodness. Just... Okay. In that way, I'm getting lots of feedback from a test. And then I'll come back and clean all this up. Cleaning up meaning I don't need to keep this here feeding back to me every time this function is called. I just need to do it during this test. So I know very explicitly how far it got, what happened, what it detected, what numbers it's using, all that. And I should be able to see visual effects and all this, but I can't count on this like to be visible and to watch all that clearly. I'm going to have to maybe watch it a few times, maybe pause and move frame by frame. Okay. I can skip this other stuff that I need to do. Do I have all the information I need actually to do this? It's this that I want to do. If I know which of the cards in the battle data, and I do, This is that same index, actually. It's the battle data index. And I can find the discard pile. I think I can manipulate all this, actually. It's sketchy, but I can do this. Okay. Well, I'll do that then. I'll do that later. But I want to just see this happen. The moment this means that it will attack. Oh, I need to actually call this function. But I'll call the function whenever there's a Perl effect that needs to attack a card. I'm already doing the visual effects, so I'll just hook in the same place. I know the power of it. And I'm going to see the calculated power defense differential. I'm going to see if it can find it in battle. I'm going to see if it knows if it's player 1 or player 2. I'm going to see it take the original hit points from that card and reduce it. And it will tell me if it is defeated. That's a pretty good test. Not bad, not bad. In this case, this is the Fire and Ice Pearl. In fact, I should probably just search for Fire and Ice. There we go. Perform the attack, it says. Okay, let's do that. Oh, only to cards that are flipped up. Yes, that's exactly true. Oof. I'm actually not down with attacking cards that are not in battle yet. Is that true? I haven't thought this through yet. If you drop a Pearl, there's some cards that haven't been flipped up yet. Should that Pearl be able to attack them? I think the answer is no. And then the onus is on the player to recognize I have to hold on until the cards are flipped up. And those are the cards that are going to be attacked. In other words, I need a little routine here that says, on the condition the card is not flipped up yet, skip it. Yeah, I think I'm just showing the effects on all the cards, and that's not correct, actually. Um, Perform immediate effect. Yeah, this is kind of what I need to do right now, right? Initialize Pearl effect is currently doing the effects, but this is happening immediately after, and I think it's appropriate to separate them. I think I was wondering about this last time too. Should this happen here? And I think the answer is no. Um, I think the first thing I need to do is take out the cards that are not flipped up, so I'm not affecting them. And then I need to affect all the cards. Right, all the cards left over. So, all right. It sounds like a separate function, actually. I haven't had to deal with like the cards that are being affected. All the other powers for pearls have just been affecting them whether they're flipped up or not. Yeah, I'm culling out ones that are already defeated. That makes sense. but I haven't taken out the ones that aren't flipped over, and there's only like certain cases where that needs to happen. This is one of them. Unfortunately, I need to count how many I need to remove, and then I need to perform the remove, and that's a two-step process. Yeah, I think I need to make a separate function. And this operates on the effects card effects array, the card effects array. Yes, that's what that is. Okay, let me just copy this because this is not what I want, but it's very close. And I will be very careful. I need to cull, in other words, remove card effects. Yeah, the operation is to cull or remove for cards that are face down. Okay. And this is not exactly right. In fact, this is wrong. But I do know that there is a Perl effect. And I think that's it. That's all I need. That's all I need. Okay. I'm gonna go through all of the cards that this effect. This go through all the card effects that this Perl effect affects. How do I say that? There is a Perl that drops that has an effect, and that effect from the Perl can affect lots of cards. So, unfortunately, language. Yes. Language. Okay, so this, I'm going to go through each one of these, and I do need to do it twice. Oh, I am. That's exactly what I'm doing right here. I keep expecting it to be more complicated, and in fact, it's less complicated. I'm going to call this function on a particular effect when I need it. So I'm just going to know which one it is, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to call it effect, not to be confusing, but there is an array called effects already. Right. That's for all of the Perls that have currently dropped and are doing things on the battle. Instead, I'm just going to deal with one. Okay. So it's kind of like this. Oh, I need to actually return this, don't I? Yes, I do. So, yes. I guess I need to just do this. Do I need to rename that? All right. In other words, I need to have something to start with, but yeah, I'm changing the card effects, and that's based on not counting the ones that I don't want, and then I need to count how many I'm going to remove first. Okay. Uh, don't think I need this. Okay, so this condition is wrong. This is for if the card is defeated, and that's not correct. Instead, I have another component that handles, well, whether it's flipped up or not, and it's called card flipper. So literally this. Remove cards. Yeah, no. I pasted code, so I need to go through each line. Remove cards, paste down. And so I'm looking through all of them. I'm checking the card flipper, and I say, you are face up. Otherwise, you are face down. And yes, that's all good still. And so that's my condition I want. Only copy in the ones that are up. Ones that are face down are removed and done. Need to go line by line to make sure. I do want that to be reformed as well. I'm counting from all the card effects on this Pearl effect. Check to see if it's flipped up. If so, count it. If not, it is face down. Now that I know how many are in the count, I know how many are going to be left over. If you drop the Pearl, there's only one card face up. You know, that's your thing. Ooh, I guess if there are no cards left over, this effect will just end at the end of the battle cycle. This particular one is fire and ice, so it will freeze cards that are not flipped over. But it won't attack cards that are face down. That's what it's meant to do. Okay, so now that I know how many, make a temporary array that is all of those face up. The rest that are not are skipped. And that goes into the array that comes back. And so this is now a function I can call, feed it, and a Pearl effect, and I have all the face down cards removed. Cool. So, how do I say this? Drop effects is that flare I was looking at. This is the attack. It's interesting. The flare and the freeze should actually happen on all cards, but the attack effects and the attack itself should not. So this is where It's like just doing it once. Yeah, okay. All right, this is where I want to do this. So this is let's see, effect equals. Oh, ret effect equals, there we go, face down cards given the effect, and done. Yes. In fact, I need to use ret effect for this now. It's more refactoring stuff that I definitely want to pay attention to later. Oof, messy. Okay. This is the freeze. This is the attack. I can flare at wherever the pearl dropped, but this should only happen on cards that are face up. So I need to do this operation and use the result. Okay. I think that means for each of these card effects that are left over after that operation. Oops. We actually attack the card. It's true. And in this case, it is a power 5 attack. I should be explicit and say this is based on the effect. Attacked power is the reserved variable I've been using for that. Okay. So this should, we're going to put sparkly things all over all the cards, but the only ones that are face up are going to be given the attack effects and then attacked. This one function attacks all the cards that are in that array. This actually attacks each one, and I do want to know that actually. Okay. This was surgery, and we haven't completed it because this doesn't actually do the logic for the end of the battle. But given that we've almost done an hour and a half already, jeez Louise, just indicates how careful I'm being with this. Which, should result in fewer errors going forward. It's a good thing. Believe me, if you've run into a few errors in your code, you understand why that's a good thing to spend this much time. Okay. I suppose that's okay. What I want to do is, I guess there's multiple tests I need to do because I did change some of the code that implements effects. I changed it slightly. Basically, I'm going to see attack lines go only the ones that are flipped up. There's some things that need to happen there. Okay, so it did not attack this card, but those other cards were frozen. I need to pause. I need to read the log. Okay, so it froze them and unfroze them. This was the unfreezing. Oh, shoot. Look at that. It unfroze the card that is flipped up. It did not. It didn't even freeze the card that wasn't flipped up. Yeah, okay, so yeah, fire and ice is tricky. This was previous functionality, it was working fine. And then I changed which cards remain affected. Okay, in other words, I probably need to change what I'm doing here. Instead of culling all of the affected cards, I probably just need to prevent an attack. I need to prevent an attack if it is not flipped up. Just when I do an attack, I need to just check to see if it's flipped up or not and prevent it. Which means I also need to change how I do the effects. Shoot. Yeah, I need to do that. This is per attack, actually. Everything else handles every card that it's affecting, and I should keep that the way it is. So I'll switch this up. I'll need to change that. Okay. But here, what do we see? We see some feedback on our attack. So we did a battle cycle update, and our Pearl detected that one of the cards was face down. War Unicorn certainly is face down, and it is one of the cards that should have attacked otherwise, so it's good. It knows what's up. I don't know who was attacking here, actually. Which card it was attacking here. I can guess it was probably... Well, I don't know. It was either Angled Deflectors or... Yeah, okay. Let's say it's probably this order. So, yeah, it was Angled Deflectors was being attacked, and with a power of 5, its defense is something, and it resulted in a power differential of 1. So apparently this has more than 5. And let's test that. Where are we? This Angle Deflectors has a defense of 10. Yeah, okay. So that makes sense. This had more defense than the power that was attacking it, so the result was 1. Good. Our little routine to keep it at minimum of 1 worked. And then it reduced from 8 to 7. Perfect. This has a power differential of 1 because it also has a high defense. Yes. Wait a minute. No, it does not. Wait, was this it? No, this is wrong. The other card that was being attacked is Unending Swarm. It has a defense of 3. That's less than 5. The power differential should have been 2, not 1. This is wrong. And for crying out loud. All right, I'm going to go just copy the line that I used in the prototype script then, because apparently I don't do math well. That's so weird. What? Okay, anyway, with a power differential of 1, it reduced it by 1. And so it, okay. And let's look at the data. Oh, they got hit some more after that. Yep, they got hit some more after that, so they're actually lower than that. Cool. And our numbers here should match these numbers here. They do. Okay, good. So, except for a couple of things, it's a good test. Okay, this needs to be done differently. Yep, I'm gonna need to do that. But also, so this whole cull face down cards, I don't think I ever want to do, like ever. It's okay. It's okay. Just won't do that. Which means this is going to go away. Oh, and this should have been inside an if statement. I didn't think about that, but it's true. Because it returns a Boolean value, true or false. Did this actually defeat the card? Right? I guess I should know which card was defeated, yeah? No big deal. This is card data, cards, that S, okay. Name, name, name. Cool. So when this returns true because the card is dead, it will tell me if the card is dead. I need to change that as well. So instead of, shoot. Yeah, I'm already doing crazy stuff for just the attack because it's a different kind of effect, but I need to continue the crazy. All right, first things first, let's make sure that we just skip this card if it's not flipped up. The words return false. I kind of need to do this, don't I? I need to do this. Should I just do it down here? Kind of, yeah. Actually, I should. Um, if this is not in battle. Oh, right. And that would never happen because I've been calling it out, but now I'm not. So now I should see this noisy warning because this is a card that's detected to be not in battle. In other words, not flipped up. That makes sense. This is already doing it. It's just going to be noisy when it does it. Okay. Cool. That's actually already done. So then I will turn my attention to the visual effects because this is not done. I am doing the where do I determine this is in fact an attack effect? Because this is a function used for all the effects. Bruh. This is okay. Normally it's just that, but when it's an attack, I do all this other jazz. Oh, I'm using origin. That's when I know. Wow, that's really sloppy. Yuck. Create on cards. Not defeated. Yes. So if use origin and oh, here it is. Oh my goodness. Am I already doing this? Whoa. Continue using attack VFX on cards not flipped up. I'm already doing this. I don't need to do any. Okay, seriously. I guess it has been a few days since I worked on the script, so I already did all this. This refactor has already been done. See, I needed to update my comments, otherwise. Okay, I'm done. This will do the attack effects with, what is this one? Use origin, true. So this is already doing that. And this attack will only be performed on ones that are flipped up. So this is already done. Like, what am I even doing? Okay, fine. So I need to run the test again. And, oh, right, I needed to fix the math. Clamp. I think I did this before, and I was kind of sad that I needed to do it this way because I thought I knew what I was doing. Apparently, I do not know what I'm doing. Attack card, blah, blah, blah. This. Um, cool. Just look at this power minus defense. Keep it between 1 and 10. That's what that says. And just to sort of square this circle, It is literally get the power of the card whose turn it is, which is the attacker. Subtract the defense of the other card. Yeah, that's what I got. Yeah. Okay. But what I was not clear about is who this was. Who is this card? Okay. We'll see if that works better. Blah, blah, blah. This will be easier to read by name. Okay. Reduced. Okay. And then okay. So I still have not handled the end of a round detection. That's okay. I may not get there by the end of this stream, in fact, because it's already been almost 2 hours. My goodness. You know, in my defense, it is vacation. Literally, I've been doing way too much, and it is time for me to chill. I mean, and this is chill. This is actually what I enjoy doing on my time off. That's true. That said, literally doing a stream was the only other thing on my to-do list. So make with that what you will. Okay. I expect I saw it attack some cards and not others, so that part of the test is already done. Now what I'm going to do is mirror this formation and make sure they all turn over at the same time. They all will be in battle at the same time. And I will drop the pearl, and I will look at all the feedback on this. Okay. Quick, before things start getting destroyed. Is in the middle of battle. Two of my cards are about to be just obliterated. But what I'm really interested in is... Okay, so this is the card effect currently going on, and it does have all the cards, but explicitly we just determined it is skipping those cards that were, well, it would be skipping the cards that are not turned over. I guess I have to test that. Whatever. Anyway, okay. Let's read the console. Freezes all 3 opponents. That is proper. I think it's going to unfreeze them. Hold up. Hold up. Freeze opponents. I thought it was unfreezing them. Huh. Okay. We dropped the pearl after a battle cycle end, and pearl power attack differential on unstoppable force. It says it's 1. Now, is that true? Unstoppable force is a defense of 3. That is absolutely not true. The power of 5 and a defense of 3. This should be a differential of 2. What is up? Why do I keep getting these ones? This is not right. Okay, so clearly my math is wrong again, so I fixed the wrong thing. All right, all right, all right. And Shadow Imp, this one actually should be 1, so that was correct. Unending Swarm. Boy, they all have a differential of 1, so that's just, yeah, this is, so that should be 1, that should be 1, this should not be 1. Boy. Anyway, it reduced it from 5 to 4, from 7 to 6, from 10 to 9, so that's all correct. And prevents them from attacking because they are also frozen. That's good. It says it freezes them again, which is weird. Okay, so it unfroze them because the battle cycle ended, correct? Battle cycle ended, unfrozen, unfrozen, unfrozen. Good, okay. Cool. So the ice part of Fire and Ice works again. Good. We fixed that. This garbage is still wrong. And it does, well, I guess we have to test that. Let's test to make sure it only attacks cards that are flipped up. Before we move on, let's just make sure this works. And then we'll fix math, yeah? I really don't care which cards I play. I just need to see this work. And I specifically need cards to not be flipped up when they meet. So there we go. Okay. What I'm looking for is, I saw the visual effects only go to 2 cards, so that's a good sign. And there's the noisy ignoring the battle. Perfect. This is from the function we just made to attack the card. And it's the indication that it knows it shouldn't be attacked because it is not in battle. Ooh, perfect. Differential of 1. Differential of 1. That's just wrong. This is, I mean, I could look at the numbers, I guess, but frustrating. Attack on Coffee Badger with a defense of 10. Yeah, it should be 1 actually. Generator Overload is a defense of 6, so that should also be 1. And Alter Flare, defense of 9. So actually, yeah, a broken clock is correct twice a day. So, okay. Why is this wrong? What's up? I say give me an attack of 5. 5 minus some number. I guess I need to have more feedback. Math. Right? Power is and card defense is, right? So we're just being extremely explicit. That's what I mean by feedback. I mean, I don't know what is wrong until I can see what the code is operating on. And now I'm exposing what it's operating on, so it's good. Which means difference is, and I need to actually just say this line of code. So literally, there's power, there's the defense, and here's power minus defense. So I'm showing them my work. Right, I'm showing my math. So, like, why is this? Take a value, have a minimum and maximum. Bruh, why? I'm confusion. It doesn't make sense. Okay, so that's why I'm gonna print out the values. Is there something else I needed to test? I know I'm gonna clean up, but I think that's all I'm gonna test. And I'm gonna do the round end logic later. Yeah, I think it's it. So I will cheat, get rid of the cooldown so I can take this, go into battle, and I want to make sure I have some cards that are going to be in battle and some that are not. And yeah, let's go. Boom. So I just did some attack on one card, and it should show me the math. Yeah, these cards are cards that were flipped down, so that's good. Okay. But this one was not. It has a power of 0. What? Well, no wonder these are coming out as 1. It says it's a power of 0. Why does it say it's a power of 0? Attacked power should not be 0. Apparently, I did not initialize this Pearl effect appropriately. Let's find where we do that and do it appropriately. Attacked power of 5. What? Bruh. I am confusion. So perhaps I'm just not appropriately transferring that. This is setting a template effect for any card that's going to be affected by this pearl. And then when I drop, that should be initialized appropriately, but perhaps I'm just not doing anything with that. I am not. Oh, okay. I have completely forgotten about some data I need to manage first. Okay, so all of this, apparently I've kind of stopped at some point. Let's look at where that is. I have index P1 card and then power defense luck as a delta and origin. Well, there you go. Index P1 card, power and defense, speed, health, luck as an origin and a delta, and I stop there. Okay, so apparently I just forgot to do this. So let's do that. Like literally I need this, but for attacked power. There we go. Wait a second, wait a second, wait a second, wait a second, wait a second. Hold on. This is actually taking values from, stop, stop. Pearl dropped, deal with the cards. I have a template effect, but apparently I just said give me a brand new blank effect. That's not correct. The card effects. Bruh, I'm missing some data. Okay, and I need 1 second, please. Okay, math. Yes. Apparently, I do something for all the cards. See, these card effects grab information from the card data, which is great. I remove cards already defeated, and that's great. But I think I completely forgot about Pearl dropped. What am I missing here? I have the effect created for the Pearl, and here is me talking about the card effects. And I know I have one template. That's this. There's my card effect. That's the template. I hold on to that while I deal with the card effects on the Pearl effect. Okay, cool. And I kind of just forget. Yeah. Like I use it here and just forget. So allow us to not forget. Bruh. Yeah, I never did this. Is this a P1 card? Wow, I don't do any of this. Okay, okay, okay. Um, remove cards already defeated. So we count them and we do that. Okay, fine. But you know what? Also, like, do this. This needs to include, right? Let me just write that down. Include the other data from the template card effect. Okay. Because I never did that. I don't know where my head was. I'm going to blame COVID. This says, yeah, all of these things that I wasn't doing. Attack power, prevent move, all this. How in the heck has this been working? Bruh, I am so confused. How could this possibly be working on this other data that I'm sure is actually doing its thing? Let me just, no, for real, like, how? We've been doing this. Oh, 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 nope. Okay, before I start writing code, let me just understand what the heck is going on because this should already be there. This, copy, this, search, this. Bruh, never. I don't do this. Ever. Really. Then how am I getting the Perl confusion curse to work? Dude, we did this. Like, what? Uh, uh, I am so confused. If this doesn't just use this template card effect, element 0, like this, but for all of the other things, then how in the heck does it do this? Because here I'm saying give me a brand new card effect, which blanks out all of the data. So no wonder it's 0. Okay, what? No, seriously. Let me put this in a better spot. Clearly, I skipped over a major thing. Yeah, give me a brand new card effect that's totally blank. Uh, that's ridiculous. And give me this data on its stats. Okay. Why, why am I duplicating all this code? If the only difference is between like this and like that, then what am I doing? Why? I can't understand why I did it like that at all. Like I shouldn't do it like that. Um, I do this for all the cards in play. Okay, fine. This indexes the Pearl effect. This relates to. Okay, okay. This has to be. This has to be where I put this. Let me. Okay, this is garbage. This is so bad. I know I don't need to do this twice. And I literally do it twice. Uh, affect one side. Yeah, I kind of understand why I did it like that, but garbage. Because I'm doing this twice. Okay. Whatever. Um, this template card effect is where I'm going to get the data that I'm looking for. And as silly as this is, I'm going to do this once, and I'll just copy and paste and do it again. Yeah, that's pretty silly. Prevent move, prevent lane collapse. Yeah. Prevent attack, attack friend, and something else. Okay. Prevent move. Want to keep these consistent. Prevent lane collapse. Um, attack. Something called attack friend. Visual Studio, I know you're trying to help. But look, that was wrong. Trying to help, and all you really did was get in my way. Ugh. IntelliSense. You tell me how that makes sense. It is not intelligent or sensible. Prevent luck win. Oh, is that a thing? Okay. Visual Studio, get out of my way, bruh. Man. So prevent luck win is for a special pearl effect. And I know what that means. It is only going to prevent luck wins. Okay, fine. Just so happens that when we do an attack from a pearl, it also does not do a luck win, but I think that's a separate thing. Okay, so literally just paste because this is that stupid. But now the data should be there, blah, blah, blah. Meaning this now has a value. Meaning when we do this again, we're going to see proper attacks. Where is our attack? Okay. When we do attacks, we're going to see the power be appropriate. Okay. And I will do the logic for round end later. Okay. So I'm sure it's clear by now. If I had issues with the core gameplay while I was trying to test this, well, I couldn't test this, right? And it's really just a pattern. If I am working on a thing, I'm going to test it until it works as expected. Meaning I'm going to continue working on it until it works as expected. And the moment it does not, I will stop and continue to work on it. But the moment it does, I will stop and I will move on to the next thing. We should see. Math. Okay. Oh, battle cycle ended and it says math power 5. Good. Card defense is 7, which is a difference of -2, which means it had a differential of 1, which is proper. Instead of saying -2 damage, it does 1 damage. So, reduced from 3 to 2, and we move on. Math, power of 5, defense of 8, which means a difference of -3, so a differential of 1, so it goes from 10 to 9. Power of 5, defense of 8, blah, 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 blah. I need a different set of cards. Just, I need to see it actually do more than 1 damage. Used to be Fire and Ice did a power attack of 1. Sorry, a power attack of 2, which is just useless. I mean, almost exactly useless. The only time it would do more than 1 is if the defender's defense was 1. So, yeah. Changed it to 5, and I think that's a minimum. I think it's appropriate. More appropriate. Okay. There we go. Again, we should see only the cards that are flipped up will be affected. Cool. And I will check these. No. Okay. So apparently I completely forgot about some data that I need for the card effects every time I drop a pearl. But now I not only have the attack power, but I have all the other data too. So power of 5, defense of 9, so yeah, it only did 1 damage. So it went from 3 to 2. Power of 5 and a defense of 3. So there's the attack differential of 2. Yay! So it went from 5 to 3. Perfect. Okay, good. And this wasn't clicked over yet, so good. Yeah. Cool. Now they're unfrozen, so they're all going to attack. So this Fire and Ice Pearl did its job and helped me get through this round, although they lucked out. Cool. All right. Well, good to know. And I should clean this up actually. Although I'm not entirely done yet. I'm not done yet. So handling this stuff. None of these cards were defeated, were they? Not from the Pearl. They weren't defeated from Pearl. They were all 3 were unfrozen. Interesting, it says freezes, like it wasn't frozen already. Yeah, I'm going to leave all this logging here for now because I'm in the middle of this. And I think not only do I need to go forward a bit, but I'm going to review this because I think there's a couple of things that aren't quite right yet. That said, I am going to end stream because, yes. And the good thing about today's work is progress. Well, that's the simple way to describe it. I found out that I hadn't been transferring some data and fixed that, so that's good. Found out that we already had effects and attacks prevented from dealing with cards that weren't flipped up, so that's good. And we actually do the battle calculations, so that's good. We could, in fact, be detecting that we defeated a card with the pearl. So that's good. I mean, there's progress. There is at least 2 or 3 more steps to do before we could call this done, and then we would clean up the logging and blah, blah, blah. But given that we're over 2 hours now on my stream, I am going to call it good because it is a holiday here in the jungle, and I do want that holiday. Yeah, I do. Yes. But yes, of course. I got things to do. I gotta do tricks. I gotta dodge, dodge, dodge. I've got to act all serious for a minute because I want to say thank you for watching our VOD, and please do follow, subscribe, like, retweet, whatever you gotta do, but show up on stream on Twitch on the scheduled days you see below. Yes, sir, yes, sir. No fooling. I'm serious. You can do this. And yeah, okay. I'm good. Have fun. I'm out. Take care.